Hello, everybody. Just going to talk a minute about why do I talk about whether or not Jesus is God or not so much. This video is an attempt to just let everybody who is either subscribed to me or maybe comes across my videos just to know why I'm so deeply entrenched in whether or not Jesus is God. First off, let me say this. For anybody watching that may not know, I am an ex-Trinitarian. I at one time did believe that Jesus was God. And I'm going to start off with this. When I had that mindset, when I had that concept, it really didn't give me room to address my sin. A lot of people may have a lot to say about that, but here's how I saw it. Basically, Paul said, imitate Christ. Well, it kind of didn't have any real meaning because Jesus was God. Yeah, you're going to tell me to be like God. So in my head, it was just kind of like something you say, but he's God. How can I imitate God? I can't identify with God, like that. He's something different than me. He's way ahead of me for certain. I mean, he's ahead of everything. So when you say Jesus was sinless, and you add in the fact that he was God, it really means, I'm just going to be honest, it really didn't mean much to me because it's like telling me a dog barked. That's what they do. It's telling me nothing. I mean, because God can't sin. He can't do it. So what does it really mean to tell me Jesus is sinless? In my head, no human ever walked the earth without sinning. So to me, it was kind of like, really, all I can say is I believe that Jesus died on the cross for my sins, so I was off the hook. I believe that, and I'm good. And it's just false. And I really couldn't address that until I realized that Jesus is a human. And when I realized he was a human, and when I really understood that in the Bible, in the scriptures, it gave me a whole new empowerment to address my behavior, to address how I treat people, to address any addictions I may have, any sin that may come along. It just meant a whole lot more. Because now when you say imitate Christ, and he's actually a human who was sinless, that gives me something to strive for. That gives me something, it gives me a target. It gives me something to aim for, to be like him. But when I thought he was God, I got to be honest with you, I didn't really have that. I mean, you can say what you want about it. You can say what you want about me because, that's the way I was whenever I thought Jesus was God. But that's just the reality of it. And I've talked to lots of other people. I know I'm not alone on this. I've talked to lots of other people who at one time believed Jesus was God, and they had the same hiccup. And once that person realized that he is a human, it gave them a whole new light. And they their testimony, they confessed to me that things that they struggled with, now they were able to attack it, and they were able to overcome it because they were striving to be like Christ, who is a human. This is why I talk about this subject so much, because I know the change it did for me. I know the change it did for others that I've spoken to about this before and after. And to me, I could talk about a lot of different subjects of the Bible. I mean, there's so much you could talk about with the Bible other than whether or not Jesus is God. And I'm aware of that. But I feel like a lot of things take care of themselves when you realize that God is one. Jesus said that's the most important commandment. Hear, O ye Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. And when you realize that the person he sent was human, did not pre-exist his birth, he was nothing different in nature than us. When you realize that, you can identify with that. When it says that, we have someone, I believe it was in the book of James, we have someone who can sympathize with us because he was tempted by sin in every way, but did not sin. When you say Jesus is God, what does that even mean? But when you say he's a human, when you realize that that is a human being that they're talking about, nothing more, nothing less, then that means a whole lot. That gives me a target. That gives me something to go for. And that gives others something to go for, to be like our big brother. And so that's why I talk about this so much. And I hope everybody out there understands. I know you probably get tired of vid after vid where I'm talking about whether or not Jesus is God. But just understand where I'm coming from. That's all. Just know that this is the reason. It's not because I think this is the only thing of importance, but I just feel like you point someone in the right direction and the rest can take care of itself. And that's what I'm after. So I hope everybody out there understands. I hope I explained myself well enough to convey my point. I wish everybody the best, as always. Shalom.